Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Thursday has been in a bit of a crisis lately where we haven't really had a solid theme. So we're going to try something different and pretty exciting this week. This is Fishbowl Thursday, where instead of looking at a deck that has a tournament finish, we're going to be looking at a deck that was set into me by one of you. So this one comes to us through the stream, which we do on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from D. Conover. This is Dowsing Dagger Burn, and like I said, no tournament finish for this one, so keep that in mind as far as the level of competitiveness presented in this deck. The good news is, this is one of the spicier ideas I've seen for Ixalan Standard. I think this deck is super cool, even if it isn't very good, which, I don't know, maybe it's way better than it looks. It looks janky, but it also looks amazingly awesome and super cool. So, anyway, congrats to D. Conover on a really sweet looking deck. A quick reminder before we break down Dowsing Dagger Burn for Standard. If you enjoy this deck, and you honestly it made the videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So let's talk Dowsing Dagger Bird, and we're built around Dowsing Dagger. So normally, when you see Dowsing Dagger, 2 mana equipment, if you deal damage, it flips around into Lost Veil. You're thinking, okay, I'm going to use this to ramp. I want that land that taps for 3 mana, but that's not the plan of this deck. We are using the most hidden mode of Dowsing Dagger. We don't want the mana. We don't really care about giving our creature +2/+1. Actually, we don't even want to ever equip Dowsing Dagger. What we're trying to do with this deck is use Dowsing Dagger as a 2 mana artifact that says, when it enters the battlefield, give your opponent 2/0/2 plants with Defender. That is the entire basis of this deck, is to abuse the fact that we can force our opponent to get 2 creatures with Dowsing Dagger. That is what the whole plan is built around. So how in Standard do you possibly abuse giving your opponent 2/0/2s? Well, we have 4 copies of Trespasser's Curse and 4 copies of Rampaging Ferocidon. So you probably see where this is going. If we have a Trespasser's Curse out, we play Dowsing Dagger, we drain our opponent for 2. If we have Rampaging Ferocidon, we drain our opponent for 2 more. That's 4 damage if we have both of them out. Obviously, they all stack, so we can have more than that. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, you turn Dowsing Dagger into like this really bad sort of lava spike or something that gives our opponent these creatures with Defender that don't really matter because our deck is not planning on attacking our opponent. That's not part of our plan. So, I mean, that seems pretty cool, but it gets way better than that. To speed up the process a little bit, we get Panharmonicon, and Panharmonicon is absurd in this deck because the way Panharmonicon is worded, let's read it over real quick, because normally you think of Panharmonicon as just, oh, it doubles up my enter the battlefield triggers, but we're abusing not only the hidden modes of Dowsing Dagger, but the hidden modes of Panharmonicon. So what Panharmonicon actually says is, if an artifact or creature entering the battlefield would trigger an ability on any permanent we control, we trigger it an additional time. So what that means is, when Dowsing Dagger enters the battlefield, it's an artifact, it triggers twice. So instead of giving our opponent 2 plants, we're giving them 4 plants, which obviously means we have Trespasser's Curse out. That's 4 damage. However, remember, Trespasser's Curse is a permanent we control, and it's being triggered by an artifact or creature entering the battlefield, the plant tokens, so that will trigger twice for each plant, which means with a Panharmonicon out, a single Dowsing Dagger and Trespasser's Curse is draining our opponent for 8. If we have 2 Trespasser's Curse or throw in a Rampaging Ferocidon, it doubles up to 16, so we can potentially just kill our opponent with a couple copies of Trespasser's Curse, a Panharmonicon, and 1 single Dowsing Dagger. But if that's not enough, it keeps going. It gets better. We have Saheeli Rai, which is in our deck specifically to copy Dowsing Dagger. It's basically 3 mana, copy Dowsing Dagger. Yes, Saheeli Rai, normally you think comboing off with Felidar Guardians and broken stuff like that. It can copy artifacts too. So Saheeli Rai is just make another Dowsing Dagger, which means 8 or 16 or 32 more points of burn and drain with Panharmonicons triggering, Rampaging Ferocidons triggering multiple times. It gets so out of control. So, like I said, I have no idea if this plan can work. It seems very very against the odds, but it is incredibly sweet. It is such a cool idea. I just love the idea of this deck. The rest of the deck, we have a couple Reckless Fireweavers, triggers off our Dowsing Dagger, triggers off Panharmonicon, also triggers off Prophetic Prism, fixes our mana, draws us some cards, great with Panharmonicon, and one Hierophant Chalice, which gives us some double drain triggers when it enters the battlefield with Panharmonicon. Reckless Fireweaver, of course, doubles up as well if we have Panharmonicon out, so it just gives us even more direct damage to our opponent's face. It takes advantage of all these random janky artifacts we're playing or copying with our Saheeli Rise. Then we have a couple of cards that are mostly for Panharmonicon. Kitesail Freebooter gets stuff out of our opponent's hand, double triggers with Panharmonicon. Champion of Wits helps us cycle through our deck to find our combo pieces. Double triggering digs us pretty deep for just 3 mana, 4 cards deep. If we ever eternalize it with a Panharmonicon out, pretty much game over thanks to the card advantage. And then we have a bit of defense, couple of Fatal Pushes to keep our opponent's creatures in check, some ops to help set things up, find our pieces, and a couple of sensors. As far as the mana base, the spiciest card we have is Inventor's Fair, which is another way to tutor up Dowsing Dagger, tutor up Panharmonicon, even just a Prophetic Prism to draw a bunch of cards if we need to. Otherwise, bunch of different dual lands and some basic lands. In the sideboard, breaks down pretty cleanly. A bunch of different removal spells, Fatal Push early game, Abrade for artifacts, Bantu's Last Reckoning to sweep away the board, Vraska's Contempt to get rid of those annoying Hazarets and Scarab Gods, Spell Pierce and Negate as counters, Lost Legacy and Duress to kind of attack our opponent's deck in hand. Lost Legacy can be very good against Approach of the Second Sun, even the Scarab God. Duress to just pull things that could potentially disrupt us, like counter spells, out of our opponent's hand. And that is Dowsing Dagger Burn for Ixalan Standard. And that's our Fishbowl Thursday instant deck tech for today. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know, do you like this? What do you think of having a Fishbowl Thursday where instead of tournament decks, we're looking at some of the sweet decks that y'all send in to me. So do you want this to continue? Should we go back to tournament decks? Give me your feedback. I'd love to hear it. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.